Hey, we're back at part two of my interview with Kiri. Good guys. We talked about his personal life. Let's talk about his political life and ours as well. Hey, Kiri, I just want to, I'm just being personal here. I'm Catholic. You're what?
What is it?
I'm Catholic religion, right? You said you're a spiritual?
Yes, actually, I'm not no longer religious. Obviously Tamil, Hindu backgrounded, but then I was exposed to Christianity early through like after around college time. I was
Hmm.
exposed to Christianity because of my ex-girlfriend, and it was definitely a good experience, and also a new understanding and new way of spirituality. And then afterwards, obviously, um, then I don't really practice any religion.
Okay.
Uh,
I
I'm
was just asking
I'm
because I did a prayer for your brother after the break. That's what.
yeah.
I
It's
was saying I did a prayer for your brother on the side there when I was after we took a break there for BJ there. That was just a
Oh,
little
okay.
peace prayer. Yeah, just a prayer and peace for your brother and him, no, so it's nice. Okay, so now let's get into the political stuff. What I know you're involved with, you just told your story about fighting for the people, for the community involvement. So is this what motivated you to get into politics, or what?
Yes, absolutely. And again, politics is a very unexpected journey. I never even thought ever in my time that I would ever be fighting on the street or, joining a political movement. But here I am.
Wow.
Again, the pandemic really pushed the boundaries of, most of us to fight harder and, put ourselves in the community. And somebody, I'm very introvert. That means, very socially shy person. But I had to come out of my shell because nobody's going to, do the talking for me. Nobody's going to, do the negotiations for us.
Oh,
We as
so
community.
what made you come out of your shell? What happened?
Oh yes. Again, it's reflecting on the experience. How myself and my coworkers were subject to injustice at workplace, and somebody has to speak, and it happened to be me fighting against. Whenever I see that injustice, whenever I see something that's not right, I speak up, and it happened to it just drives me there naturally, and that's what again made me fight again along with the tenants and fight for tenants and across the city, and pretty much everybody knows me in the city now. I was like,
Wow. So
oh, tenant, the tenant activist, Giri, okay. uh,
so
you know
fighting with the workers, is that because of I'm just saying point blank, it's because of racism, would you say?
uh, you mean tenant
Work
work?
No, in the work in your work
Oh
background, you
yes,
say.
the work. Oh yeah, it's part of the reason is the reason is we had our company was not doing well. The security company that I was working not doing well, and there was a constant fluctuation of management and employees turnover, high turnover, and the new manager who came in, he came from I believe Alberta, and he had very little understanding of how Ontario works, Ontario regulations, and a lot of the time it's myself having meeting with him just to teach him how our law system works and how our union work, and it became a very bitter battle,
Wow.
uh, and he decided to pick a person. My disagreement with him was very professional, but unfortunately, obviously, he didn't have the experience to see that as a profession. Rather than he took it personally, and then he decided to come after me, target me. And it's funny that I had all
Funny.
my evidences ready, and I took to the labor board, and I lost the case. Why?
Wow.
Because we laborers didn't have no power in Ontario. That's when that opened my eye. I'm like, no, there's bigger fight that we need to fight, and that's why I got naturally into the politics side of it, through tenants and obviously through my workplace. These things align together, and not only I had to fight, at one point, not only I had to fight to defend my home, but I also have to fight for my job. I mean, I've been fighting for my job, so it's out of necessity, because out of necessity, and that's what led me to do there and be here now today. And obviously the political path is very fresh. It's still unfolding. Yes, I don't have all the answers,
Yeah.
but I know I will figure it out together with my community.
So what made you decide to put your name in to run for your ward? What drove you that area that
Yes, that's quite interesting because I was again I love studying, I love learning, so I got involved. I got in touch with Barry, Socialist Action, as a federal secretary. He's a very intellectual man politically. That that I'm still think I haven't seen anybody who's actually that to level up to him to articulate things to normal people without getting mad.
how'd
I was
you
asked,
how'd you how'd you find Barry though? Like how'd
oh
you
yes, through one of the tenant actions. We were myself and a few of my account friends. We were in downtown doing a protest, fighting against port policy to evict tenants. I believe not bringing in the mandate to protect tenants at the time, because he had a double talk. He said no eviction, and then he quietly just went down, and he kind of given the signal for corporation to file the eviction process anyways.
okay.
So it is a very dirty politics that really got a lot of activists in Toronto really angry, and that's how the Lambert Stadium arrest was actually happened, because people were furious. I mean, you're a politician, you're expected to have some integrity, some honesty with people. You cannot tell two different things to two different people, and you cannot set developers and tenants to fight against each other. No, it's not. It's as a city, you need to lead the people and solve the crisis we are in instead of pitting against each other. And that's what actually Ford government did. And we seen through. I mean, we were obviously there's a lot of tenant work we do and political work we did, and through that we were able to see that the inconsistencies and dishonesties, and that again motivated a lot of us to fight, and that made me put my name. It's like, why do we not have an honest politician? And I think Adam, one of my comrades from MSA.
You're making me choke here.
So,
What's that? That's like a bad word there in City Hall. Honest? I'm kidding. But
so
it's really funny.
yeah,
They all get elected by the people. They're voted in by the people, right? So the last 8 years or whatever, how many years? Okay, they're voted by the people. Democracy. Do we see them representing us, working for us? Why are we fighting? Democracy. I find it like an oxymoron.
it is, and
We put you there. You're for us, not for yourselves. Not the case. Sorry. Go on.
yeah, it's that's in the same vein that I feel the pain. It's why our people are being misled and why people are being manipulated. Why? The reality is, our in a high level overview, our population is we are 2,000 years old. I mean, obviously now, but we are still very, what would say, very very innocent in a way that people can be manipulated.
Oh yeah,
And
like yeah.
unfortunately, politically, a lot of us, I mean, a lot of the mainstream population can easily be manipulated. It's like the analogy that I say is like, you have you have a cup full of water. If you put black ink, the water is going to turn black.
Yeah.
If you put a different ink, it's going to turn its color. That's how our people are. Our
Right.
people are, need to be protected. That's why we have government. That's why we have democracy. What happens is that our elected leaders, they have different agendas, and they come elected. They say all these things, get elected. They use the media they have. Again, who has the money? Who has the media? And they have. We don't.
They have the money. Yeah.
We had
Exactly.
MSA had a complete blackout of media, and guess what? Still, some of us did so well that they had to cover us after the election. So
Well, the
that
media, everything, many media, MSA, Progress, Mayor's Awards, no media whatsoever. Why?
that's right.
Why?
And you would think that the left-wing media actually would cover us. No, we are considered the right.
I don't know if you saw my tweets. I fought for the media for everybody, not only the mayors, but all awards. I was pissed. I read
Yeah,
your platform. I read everybody's platform. Out of 84 candidates, I know about 40 of them, like yourself, online, in person, I met. And I saw the platforms, like give you so many examples of people's platforms like yours. How can you not see the media? How can you see an immigrant from Sri Lanka coming over, sitting in the classroom like you said earlier? Not what that's the story of the paper right there. The working class. Toronto's supposed to be the Toronto the opportune, right? This is an example. You're a perfect example. Why is that on the media? Why not showing that you're now starting your own company? You fought for your eviction or whatever, that's not in the media. You know, that's what I mean. It's
It's
missing.
actually yes. You know what? There's a good point. There's a lot of the points are actually correct, Phil. But only thing is though the media comes in when they are in need for them, right? I mean, the media covered my eviction story. Actually, I was fighting against eviction, and the CBC actually covered it, and I had some coverage on that. And then they actually were able to provide some additional coverage on other parts of the city that where I was fighting along with other
So if
ACOR
they,
members.
so if they covered you, why didn't they say, hey,
Yeah.
this is the guy we covered back then? He's in the election now. You should be right there ahead of me and anybody else, right? You know, it's so funny. Like I said,
And
you just said
it's
the media covered you when they wanted you, when they need
yeah,
you. You know,
that's
whatever sells the paper right now. You know,
exactly, and that's a unfortunate reality now we are in, and we find ourselves the MSA and for the new lot of the new folks in the politics, we have an obligation to lead, not only lead the community but lead the change, because the media is not going to lead the change.
no,
They're going to report. Their job is to just observe and report, and that's what they're going to do. And the rest of the advocacy and the leadership, it comes from us, grassroots.
yeah,
And uh, actually, you know, obviously, at one point there was, you know, because of the feedback that I was actually on a grassroots level. My campaign was completely on the other side. You know, I did not have corporate investment, and I did not have, you know, huge environmental damaging posters.
yeah,
And we had, you know, small posters and you know, like very moderate, and you know, we wanted to lead by every angle. So that's how we done the campaign in a very, I guess, you know, put it in the cleanest way, cleanest politics that we can run with a
yeah.
smaller number of volunteers. And honestly, to say that about 10% of Scarborough people actually stood up and, you know, voted for MSA platform on Bar 21, it's
Yeah.
amazing. And you know, it's almost came third. I mean, almost close to just over 1,800 votes. So almost, you know, that's about 10% of Scarborough people actually voted for this platform.
You got 1,800 votes.
Yeah,
That's pretty
1,800
good.
plus.
That's really good. I got 1,680 something. Not bad. Came in 17th out of 31, so I'm happy. I'm not.
Oh, yes.
I
I
didn't
mean
get
that.
many. I did a lot of exposure. I did a lot of. See, my problem with the photo ops was people's my downfall. I covered every ward for twice. Pictures, none.
It's
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 the thing. You gotta take pictures, right? You gotta show yourself, right?
yeah.
Yeah, but it's
It's
a problem, right? I know.
I think
Like I said, unless you're not like that's my shell coming after your shell is, introvert. Mine is just like when I did my first video when I signed in May 13th. I did my first introduction video. After like I go, holy shit, do I sound like that in real life? Then you get more used to your voice, right? But I'm just
it
saying. So the MSA, what I liked about the MSA, and I tell you what I don't like about the MSA, I'll tell you right now, is they're not doing enough. Get the like you said with the leadership.
yeah,
There's none. I'm not putting anybody down or Barry. I know the guys, but I'm just saying you have an organization. I've talked to Pierre. I talked to Pierre.
yeah,
We talked about a few things there, and I said you got like progress. You get an organization right now that can do good for the people, but there's still a few enough small numbers. It needs to get out there. Forget the media coverage. The media's not going to cover us, any of you guys, right? Unless
yeah,
you slaughter one of your neighbors or hijack one of your members, then you'll be in the news. Sells papers, right?
yeah. It's,
But I'm just
you
saying, like,
know,
yeah, the media, like, yeah, Embassy is a perfect example of getting out there. Just that's one organization getting out there, an entity that actually it has to start somewhere, right?
yeah,
Because right now, I'm actually finding they're what are they so afraid of? Why was the media so controlled about everything? We mayor candidates felt it fighting for the last few months, and then the ward guys, you guys, the Toronto Stars started covering all the incumbents and a few wards that are going to be guaranteed to get in because the vacant
yeah,
seats are vacant. I go like, and this, I heard from every ward that I dealt with, everybody I talked to, and they said the same. Oh man, we now know what you're going through. This is ridiculous. And so, welcome to the club. But I'm just saying, what are they so afraid of? Like, see this. I want to show you this. Here's the world. Here's Canada. All parts of the world in Canada, in Toronto. All that we got every culture, every country, every religion, every creed, whatever in Toronto. Where is it in the city hall?
yeah. That's right.
Don't see it.
It's a
We have a
very
few. We have a few black members now, but that's after how long? We only have one black member, right?
That's right.
We got Lily Chang, first Asian in how long since the other guy left for a while now, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And she got hassled for her story. She wrote an article. She got harassed by the media, and I defended her, and they cut me off. But I'm just saying, there has to be. I don't know whether it's just a. When I saw the acceptance speech and they got their plaques for their, like their certificates the other day, and I saw all the new guys like Chang and Jamal and Bravo, and I said, I was like so happy to see
Yeah.
new people up there. And then they started bringing the old incumbents. I was like, what the heck? What a big
I
difference.
know. I know. It's
Sorry.
yeah, it's definitely that was I was following up as well. I'm like, yeah, when I see the new faces, yeah, it feels like, yeah, this is the right direction, but it's not enough. We
Yeah.
definitely have to go way far. We have to reflect the people in
Yeah.
the Toronto,
Well,
and
you
like
saw
you said,
was it yesterday? All the new ones stood up, except for, and maybe one or two comments about the bill with 39. They want to get that, and then the Nunziata like curtailed it for next time, whatever. But I'm saying all
yeah,
these new people. So I just saw that. I don't know if you saw. I said, "There's the division right there." I talked about it during election and every debate I talked. I said, "You know what? It doesn't matter how many new people get in there. Like all, I'm glad I saw the platforms, but you know what? My heart breaks them because what's going to happen? Like yesterday, they've all stood up to fight for the people, curtailed, and that's just the beginning." That's the division right
that's right.
there. And exactly what's happening. And I said, you know what? That's the division right there. It's plain and simple. The majority thing about the one-third vote and only it's 8 supporters, not all
Yeah,
incumbents. But I'm just saying the desperation to hang on to the city for what reason? The last 8 years. I got nothing against incumbents. Like I've talked to quite a few of them, but you know what? If like I said, the low turnout vote is a prime example of the lack of interest. And know who created the lack of interest? They did.
mm,
I talked to, and everybody in the ward I talked to, they said, "You're running," and a lot of them said, "Why? What's the use? Are you going to vote?" I asked my question, "Are you going to vote? What's the use?" And my third question I asked, "What do you do? What do you know about Green Canada?" They go, "What the heck is that?" It's all malarkey and all that, But sorry, continue on. But what about your
Definitely.
views?
It's for, I mean, we both actually, experienced a similar thing. So it's for us, it's like a review. It's like, yeah, it's, the experience that we went through. It's like, media blackout. And then right now, what we see is a positive outcome of the smaller amount of new people who are inside. They're making the difference.
Yeah, I
And
think
that again, it's I'm not sure how much the coverage the media is going to provide for that, because this is a very good point. It's like our folks, people who are new people there, new fresh faces, they're standing up. They're bravely saying they're not going with the status quo.
yeah, and
And
they all stood up yesterday. I said, "That's so
yeah,
wonderful." And I said,
exactly.
"Yeah." I said, "Okay, I'm watching." Go, here it comes. It's coming. And what happened? Nunziato. She been there since the sky dome opened. I was like, I mean, we're the only city in the whole world, and they said it before they had the longest incumbents. Why? You know, why do we
It,
have that? What's the
it's
status quo? We have 80% of this Toronto's ethnic backgrounds, right? 70% of the city council is all white. Nothing personal, it's all white. I'm half white, I can see it. So I'm just saying, there's this desperation to hang on, and they're all happy and jump for joy. Like I saw Nunziata's husband when she won again. I go, I don't know if you saw the video. He was like jumping up and down like a kid. Like I said, really? It's like he just won for
yeah,
the first time. She's been there since the
I know.
sky to open.
I know. And what is the weirdest part is, though, none of us, I mean, a lot of the new foxes we run because we run for change. We are not looking for titles. We are not like we want to lead the change. So that's why that a lot of the MSA candidates, we were more than excited with the results. We were more than optimistic with the way things turned out, and it's absolutely a positive turn. And not only that, it gives us a hope to keep fighting.
Yeah, you
And
have to. It doesn't stop.
and there's no other way. And it's I find myself, I'm not sure if I'm going to be running again. That's something that, again, we have a long time to decide.
Yeah.
um,
We could,
However,
we could do
my
more things in the meantime, like I'm doing this video
exactly,
thing, right? That's just one
yeah.
example.
And we will continue to advocate for the community. We will continue to hold these people, accountable. Those who are elected accountable. And that's how we make the difference for the community. I mean, it doesn't have to be you or me in the city council. anybody can do the good that we want for our community.
You don't have to be elected to be doing good, right?
Exactly. And so that's why we are passionate about it, and that I'm passionate about it, and I continue to do the work. And
you're fighting before you thought of being running in the election, right? For example, right there.
It's, I was just, I try to avoid these confrontations, this fight, and this rebellionship, but I was picked on and put on the battlefield by circumstances or whatever. It's like,
I fought with the media the last few months. I kept criticizing them. I kept making fun of them. I got banned by quite a few, blocked by a few of them. I don't want people to block people. You just go on your secondary account and just don't see what they're doing. I blocked you. Okay, I'll just go on my secondary account, see what you said about me or whatever. But I'm just saying, why are you blocking me if you're in the media? I know. I defended some of the candidates, like the way they're. The thing is, it's hilarious the amount of criticism that everybody received, not from the incumbents in the media, but I'm talking about regular people. Especially like some of the mayor candidates I talked to, like the amount of like Sarah and Isabel. Isabel discriminated because of her sexuality and her nature. I had an interview with her, but I'm just saying there's that struggle, also that constant fight, right? That doing good, and then just like in the next 4 years, I hate to say it, but it's gonna get worse.
It is, and unfortunately, but the good thing is though, our grassroots are mobilized to a point that we can lead the change. I mean, it's in the upcoming years, Toronto is my home, so I'm going to be here. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on what's going on in the city.
People say I was believing like I'm not a kiss of faith, but just destiny. I don't believe coincidence. I think things happen for a reason. About like your story is not about coincidence. It'll happen for a reason. Him winning AM for the third time is a reason. There's a reason for that. And I always think it's a way to show the truth about behind real people motives, and that's what I think. So the next few years, you saw what happened to Biden in the States. I said 4 years ago, watch, they're gonna cry for Trump in 4 years. Oh, you're full of it. Now he's running again.
Yeah.
So when they got hers, we got ours. Okay, when's the last time you saw a Sri Lankan in city council? I'm trying to think of one.
Actually,
did the Sri Lankans just immigrate to Canada 5 years ago? Are they new in the country?
No, 30 years ago. I mean, Sri Lankan started coming
here. I'm just saying
in
general. Sri Lankans have been here since I've been a kid. I have Sri Lankan. I grew up with kids. They're all from Sri Lanka, and like never seen one. I'm just going to pick one culture. Yours. I've never seen one Sri Lankan in city council. I'm sure you can speak. I can talk to you. I'm sure you're intelligent. I'm just being sarcastic here, right?
You know what? I think it's because this, like you mentioned earlier, this is a close group politics that they keep other community out intentionally. And I think
they don't want change.
Yeah, they don't want change. I think I was just as optimistic as everybody else when Michael Thompson was actually broke through the politics to be in the city council. But I mean, today he's the complete right wing, and which I don't agree completely.
No, I know he was. I've noticed this. I've run this guy more times than any council in the last 16 years. He's a nice guy and whole thing, and I've seen him. He used to be in track and field years ago. And he was good.
Yeah.
I met his mother, and he probably doesn't remember that. I talked to him not too long ago, but his mom's a really nice lady. And yeah, when he like I said, he went from one direction to the other, and I don't agree with what's happening. But I still like him. I think he's a good guy. And but he's only like first time they had more than one black in City Hall, And they took a picture the other day. They're all the Amber, Jamal, Moise, Thompson, and that was first. I think it was 5 of them. I can't remember the other one. But I'm just saying. And now we have and then Ozma.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen a woman like that in City Hall, representing culture, identity?
It's definitely a positive change, and it's like my particular criticism for Michael Thompson comes from because at the middle of the pandemic, when I reached out to him for help, he completely abandoned me, completely ignored me. It's I'm like, that's when I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah, he's not going to be our friend. So I'm going to have to find my path. And part of the reason I put my name is Michael Thompson, because he completely ignored the way out, completely till today. I don't know that the reason my personal criticism comes to him because he ignores me. And had he respond to me and at least shown his face that he's going to fight for the tenants, he's going to fight for, I mean, he's going to defend and he's going to put the community first, I think he wouldn't see the criticism that I put. I put a very harsh criticism online, and that is coming from because of pain and suffering that I've been through, that he intentionally ignored, that the community that he promised to stand up. And today he, this is where my bother comes. He has a, he cannot change his skin color. He is still a black community, and he's supposed to represent the 70% in the Ward 21. Guess what? That is not even in his mind. Okay, now he's using his race as an advantage to be in the city hall, not as an advantage. I mean, not a tool to make difference in the community, and that's what hurts me. It's like, please, I mean, people need voice, and don't use that one voice to get, for selfish reasons. And that's where my criticism to Michael Thompson comes. And I hope he will open up his consciousness. And I don't know, he's already fifth time. I don't think he's going to be running again. But if he's going to run again, he's going to be definitely beaten. I think that he really misplaced, the good work that he started.
Yeah, he did. He started from a long time. He had been done a lot of community. He created so many of these things. Well, what I didn't like about what the thing that he started was, I forgot what the term. It's a term. Is you have to the city council. I'm going to take this course in City Hall about racism. You hear about this?
No.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called. They recommend you take this course if you're Caucasian City Hall. I forgot what it's called. To it's like you're kind of getting your racism tolerance course. So somebody asked me if I got elected, are you going to take the course? I said, hell no. Look at me. Do you think I need to take a course? Ban that. There's a lot of useless things in City Hall that they fight for. Cats on leashes, bird droppings. It's kind of, I feel kind of embarrassed because I know the military. I know a lot of people around the world. I got a billionaire in Dubai. He's got a big family, very humble family, very rich. Often to support me as knows, but they always phone me. He knows about my elections before I did. He goes, "What's with your people phoning a bird? What are you voting on birds?" I said, go to Trafalgar Square. Go to Italy. See all the birds there. Try banning that, buddy. That's not realistic. I'm just saying silly things. 3 days to debate about a garbage bag price. Garbage bag or 5 cents or whatever. But just like I said, there's nothing. It's a question I was asking you is, do you think also the rich factor pays into the whole thing about the comfortable? I'm at my seat. Like I said in some of my debates, I said their attitude is, "I'll help you. We got our quota." Like I said, we got our quota of houses of 2022, and now all done for the houses. Like at 900, that's good for the year. That's good for the year. So my attitude, my view is, and you help the people on your terms, meaning you're comfortable, you're okay with that. But on our terms, we're struggling like you are. We need help from Thompson. It's not coming. We are helping the community in our own way. That way we don't stress ourselves, we don't sweat a lot, and we go home, we sit on nice, cushy, rich houses, and we can say, "I did a good job. I've helped a whole lot of people today." As the other ones are dying on the street, I'll get to you later. I'm just being crude about it.
It's no, it is so true that's what's happening. It's like
it's not just a case of the culture of like I said, you got to change the culture of thinking green. You want to get green. They want this target to meet 2030 for the certain date. Get Toronto green. It ain't gonna happen. I said that. You gotta. It's like the blue bot. It's like the COVID. We got cultured in COVID. The distancing, the talking and socializing. It became a culture for us. It's still to this day we have our distance. We're talking. Now we're putting a mask on again. So if you want to change Toronto's views of saving the economy, meeting green, you gotta educate people. I said that. I said you gotta educate. You gotta work, and you gotta share the green. Educate the high schools, grade schools. Start there. You got to make a program. See, I tried interviewing all these green groups, these even Laytons. They won't do an interview. So I talked to some other people that are really pro, and this, it's all money makers, right? Trying to find a legitimate green. I'm not putting them down, but I'm saying, like, don't just make surveys and pledges and and conferences. Like, what are you doing? There's nothing done. You're not going to meet the target date. So back to the rich factor, right? You have money, you're comfortable, you're helping your fellow neighbors out, right? You're like your landlord. He has money, so he thought he can evict you. They screwed up. There's so many
It's
loopholes. But actually,
and
we got to keep fighting the change. We got about 10 minutes left. But the change is coming. It should have been done now. This is the perfect time to do change. If we had new people in there, not these incumbents as usual, but the market's down for housing, everything's down, but it'll come eventually. I mean, eventually they all got to kick off. I'm not being die. I mean, they got to go, right? How long it is? 30 years sitting in city council or in the city. We got some new young ones. We got like this is their second term. Some of them, some of them are good. But I'm just saying. I mean, I can tell you five handful that really work for the community. And the other ones just it
yeah,
doesn't show enough. I
and
when I did my canvassing around and I asked each ward about their counselor, a lot of four-letter words. Oh my God, my
yeah,
ears are burning the other day. Jeez.
you know,
So
it's
I get 10 minutes or so. Did you want to explain what you're up to right now?
oh yes, now pretty much yeah, it's just catching up some of the projects that I missed because of the election work, and obviously taking care of family and trying to figure things out, and that's pretty much. And at the same time, obviously being active in the community. So that's what's happening, and obviously that we are into this revolutionary politics. So that's where that we don't just look for band-aid solution, we look for actual real solutions.
Yeah.
If there's a homelessness, we want to solve the problem in our community,
No,
because
it's not going to solve. No.
yeah, it's not going to solve itself.
Well, even Isabella, she's an ODSP rep. She knows more about any of our candidates. We had a debate about housing. She said, this is your thing, Isabel. This is your baby. That's your forte." And she says, and I agree with it. There's a 1.3 empty house in Toronto, and I said I also did like in 3 wards. I counted 1,500 empty apartments. And people say, well, the problem is you put these people in there. The government's going to have kickbacks. They got to pay risk. I said, you know what? It's a simple temporary solution. Like where I live right now in my building, there's 5 empty apartments been sitting here for like almost 10 months because the rent is so high. I talked to the landlords and they work for the government. It's so simple. But no, they gotta wait for affordable house takes a while. Condos and all that, it's just so slow. I talked to construction workers, like I said before, the next they can build 4-level, 5-level house buildings faster than condos. This takes forever. But it's funny, you are now known in the community, all people in the community know who you are, right? You're standing out.
Pretty
So
much.
like, and it's really good because they can, and what you're saying, they trust you, they can come to you and know that something will be done. You're not gonna pull a Thompson on them. You're like,
Well, you really have to do that to your friend, huh?
oh, no, I like Thompson. He's a good guy. I know. It's all
Okay.
politics, right? It's all,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
comes down to
yeah.
when it comes down to like helping people out, no,
Yeah.
people can always say, "Are you gonna help me? You're gonna pull a Thompson on me."
That's a good one.
But yeah,
So,
But
uh,
well, even you're presenting yourself. So you're very articulate and you can tell you're very educated, not just in schooling, but in your family upbringing and uh and the way you present yourself and the way you put your priorities, you know. Why would you
appreciate it.
put it in city hall? Like it's missing. I'm not saying they're all have they're dire family. I'm just saying
It's
struggling families is not enough to represent city hall. You
you
need
you know
you need poverty and struggle to represent city hall, not rich
it
elite and supreme.
it's it is Phil. I think, and I say that best thing will come to those who wait, and I think that's the way how I see it too.
Hey,
I
you're a
think
perfect
that
example. You just said your own forte. Those come to the way. Look at you. Look how
uh, you
successful
know
you are. You know?
it's a struggle, and I'm happy, like I mentioned earlier, just because once upon the time I did not make it into policing as a career, I'm not disappointed. Today I'm happy that I did not go that path, because morally I'm not there. I would not have been a happy cop,
Yeah.
because today I'm a vacant, socially, politically a vacant citizen, and I cannot operate like that. So I'm happy today I'm using those skills and experience to put to the use in the community in a different way. So I think that's how we all have to go
Every
about it.
day's every learning experience goes to the next chain of events, right? I will do
Exactly.
that.
It's
Expectation and I've seen it so many times. Like you heard about right place, right time.
yeah.
I believe it so much. I've seen so many people in the military and around people. My friend became a priest. We used to have he's a priest now, but back then he started to be a priest. He didn't believe in fate. He believed in coincidence. And what do you mean? You're gonna be a Catholic priest? You don't believe in fate? I mean, FAT, not faith, FATH or whatever. But
So,
until this day, we had an argument. And he's seen so many things in front of us. Like the two of us
yeah.
were hanging out. We go, is that not fate or what? That you run to somebody you haven't seen somebody and you just thought about them. Oh no, it's just coincidence. Oh please, you don't believe in the universe?
You
Nice
know,
guy, right?
it's
But I believe in that. Like, I think all the experiences you had right now,
yeah.
and here you are. Like I said, I love to see you. I like to see you pass on your experience and give lectures. I mean, you have no problem articulating for saying being self introverted, whatever. But you ever thought about that? Like as a community leader, being presenting your story.
No, not really, honestly.
And
But I
people love to hear struggle. Like in the whole election being a mayor, the thing I heard about this the struggle and the love of life, and that's what you represent. And I can see that. I mean, if you went to the lecture, I say, "Hey, Kiri Vadivelu, let's go to the lecture. Come on, guys, go. Let's hear the guy. You got to hear this guy's story, And I love to see it. And I always believe in the after effects. I always tell my nephews, nieces, when you go out in the world, you wake up in the morning, see how can you affect change and who can you inspire that'll come back to you, and you feel good about it. Not in case of money and reward and like ego taking over, like I did this, I helped her, and I did this. It's not about that. Like I had people I've helped before, and people help me, and I've helped them come back. I tell what do you got? 9 minutes left. I think yeah, a
oh,
guy.
it's
Sorry,
actually
3 minutes
three
left.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. But a guy in the gym. I told the story before on one of my interviews. Guy in the gym there working out back in heavy weights, and this guy in the gym. A lot of Italians there, all nice looking muscle guys, and I was a regular guy. And see this big stout guy, and he's got a personal trainer. He's like sweating away, and he's working hard. And these guys are walking back. They're all pretty boys. They're all look good. I know some of them. They're all laughing at this guy. They're like, it's so obvious. They were just so ignorant, laughing at the guy, like like look at that fat guy. So I went to the change room there. He's changing there. And he's all sweaty, and I just, I went up to him. I said, you know what? Can I just shake your hand? I want to tell you, you know what? Today you're the hardest guy working in this gym. Today I've seen all the other guys because they look good. They can just walk around. He shook my hand. He said, I really appreciate it. I saw these guys laughing at me. I said, you know what? Screw them. You take your time, whatever you're doing. Nobody, no giving any pressure about you. You just whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable. If you're comfortable right now the way you are, you're fine. So he was really like surprised. So 5 years later, I was McDonald's. I can't remember someone in a lineup, and he was behind me. Changed his whole like he lost a lot of weight, and he tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, you shook my hand. You remember me?" I go, "No, I don't." He just said, "I said, you know what? You inspired me. That just by giving that shaking the hands and just giving that, by watching people putting you down in the gym and just, because I was still like bigger back
Yeah.
then. And fit. And he's like, I didn't think a guy like you, look like you, would come talk to a guy like me. I said, why? Why not? So we talked, and I just said thank you, and I said, buddy, you made my day. Just seeing you after so many years, and just like, and I said to him, I said, I hope you inspire people too, because I think that's great. Like I'm telling you, inspire people.
It's,
You want to finish off? You got one more minute before I get cut off. Anyway,
yes,
I
sure. I
just want
mean,
to say, thanks for the interview. I enjoyed it. I hope you inspire others by people watching this video about you. I'm impressed by. I didn't know about you apply for the police. I read some of your bio. You know, and I can tell you're a very modest guy because you didn't talk about your award. I think that's pretty good. And you've come a long way. And I think it's going to be a nice continuous journey. One more minute. Just want to say thank you, Kiri, for the interview, and I hope people watch this. And wish you well, and hope you have more kids. Yeah. Anything you want to say before I get cut off? And I'll put the video
no,
on.
it's definitely a pleasure, and then we look forward to the change that we want to see in the community. Let's light the candle, let's not curse the darkness.
That's
So,
great. I
let's
love
be
it.
optimistic.
Yeah, it's great. Mom raised you well, eh?
Well,
Yeah,
courage to the mother.
yeah. I can tell you, mom, enough. I read that. I've done enough. I think you're a good guy. I think you're a great guy, and it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you, and an honor to meet you first time after so long, just briefly. So if I get cut off, I'll send you I'll put the video on, and you can see it. And okay. Do you want me to send it to you? I can send it to the Gmail through you.
Yeah, whatever works. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
flexible. Yeah.
great. And I'm gonna cut off here.